Hey, it's Kyle here, and it's time for a book call. My local library system has a group called Friends of the Library that helps raise money for it. And a few times a year they have a used book sale to help raise money to purchase new books for the library. And it's a great sale. A lot of unique books. A lot of times they're really old books, so stuff you can't really find in circulation anymore, or older editions of books that are still in edition, so they have different cover work. And it's just really great way to find unique and interesting books that you usually don't have a chance to purchase. And great deals too, like paperbacks are $1, hardbacks $2. So always enjoy the chance to go to these. So they happen to have one this weekend, so I got a lot of books. I thought, why not do a book haul video about the books I got at the Friends of the Library sale. So here I go. First up is A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. Always wanted to read this book, heard nothing but great things about it. I know it's supposed to be hilarious. I saw the movie, really enjoyed the movie. I can't really say why I've never read the book or any other of the books in the series. It's just one of those things I just never have taken the time to. So saw this one there and I thought, now's the time. This is a sign. For $1, you can read the first book in the series. I'm very excited to read A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Or The Hitchhiker, sorry, Guide to the Galaxy. Really looking forward to reading this book. Next up, you have Rising Sun Victorious. It's edited by Peter Thesaurus. I'm not sure if I pronounced his last name right. He's actually the editor of it. I really enjoy alternate history. It's one of my favorite genres. So basically, this book is kind of like semi-nonfiction / fiction. I think it's written from more of a scholarly point of view instead of a story point of view. But basically, it's studying the war in the Pacific during World War II and how if certain things and certain battles had went a different way, how Japan could have ended up and won the war in the Pacific. So it's done from more of a scholarly point of view, which I think will be interesting. So it sounded unique. Like I said, alternate history is one of my favorite genres. I love history. It's always one of the things I love about history is the what if. What if something else had happened? How would it have transpired differently? And that's why I love alternate history so much. So I was very excited to see this book. I've never heard of it before, so should be an interesting read. Next up, you have Dewey Defeats Truman. For those that aren't really experts in American history or political history, in the 1948 election, when everybody went to bed that night, everybody thought Dewey had defeated President Truman in the election. And when they woke up the next morning, they found out actually Truman had won. And a lot of newspapers had already run the headline, Dewey Defeats Truman. So I picked this book thinking it was a nonfiction book. It was actually fiction. What it is, it's set in Dewey's hometown, which is a small town, I believe, in Ohio. Let me double check this. Thomas Dewey is, a small town in Michigan. So basically, it's a small town's excitement at the fact that one of their native sons is fixing to be elected president, and they know their town will become super famous because of this. And at the same time, there's a bit of a kind of like a love triangle going on. And basically, let me see the exact way they phrase it. Anne and her suitors await the outcome of elections, and basically, Anne's having to try to choose between her two suitors. So it's kind of a love triangle thing. So you have who's going to win this love triangle, which man's going to win Anne's heart, and then how the town's handling the Dewey versus Truman election. So it kind of combines. It sounds like an interesting novel, and then it has elements of history and politics in there. So to me, that sounds unique. I never heard of this book either, so it should be an interesting read. So Dewey Defeats Truman by Thomas Mallon. Next up, you have The World is Flat, A Brief History of the 21st Century by Thomas Friedman. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of Thomas Friedman. He's an extremely well-known author. His books really are well-known. I know I was mentioning to somebody after I got this book. I go to a lot of conferences with my job, and his books are often mentioned as a great way to understand the world we live in today. He's one of the best-known scholars in the world, and there's very few scholars that really gain mainstream notoriety and fame, and Friedman's one. The World is Flat is probably his best-known book. I've read snippets of this book before, but I've never read the entire thing before, so for $2, I was really excited chance to finally get my own copy. Next up, you have, you can't really see it because it's hardback and they lost the cover, the Mogadillion Scandal by Ken Follett. I never heard of this book by Ken Follett, and I'm a huge Ken Follett fan, and then they had a little insert inside, and I found out why, which is basically, this is a book he'd written before he really became famous, and he published it under another name. So once he became famous, then it was republished under his name, and I think because of that, it's probably never really got wide scale published quite like his other books. But like I said, I'd never even heard of this book by Ken Follett. I definitely never read it, and I've loved every book I've ever read of Ken Follett. So I was really excited to come across a new book of his. So really excited to read this book. Then lastly is a nonfiction book, The First American, The Life and Times of Benjamin Franklin by H.W. Brands. Huge history buff, huge into politics. Benjamin Franklin has always been one of the figures in history I've always found so fascinating. He has such a unique life, from his writings to his scientific breakthroughs to the role he had in helping America win the Revolution, to setting up the political documents that governed the United States. In all honesty, if he'd been younger, there's a good chance he would have been one of our first few presidents and led the country. He's just a little too old to get that opportunity. But one of the most influential people in American and really world history is Benjamin Franklin. So I'm really looking forward to reading this book. I've never read a solo biography about Ben Franklin. I've read several books where he's a central figure in it, but this was my first book that's solely dedicated to Ben Franklin. So very excited to read that. And that concludes my haul. Really looking forward to reading these books. I'd strongly encourage you to check out your local library systems. A lot of libraries do fundraisers like this. And one, it's a great way to get unique books. And at the same time, a great way to support your local library systems. It's because of my local library system that I got into reading when I was a little kid. If it hadn't been for that, I don't know if I'd ever really become a big time reader. And libraries are such a great way to introduce everyone, not just kids, into the world of reading. So check out to see if your local libraries ever have sales like this. Like I say, it's a great way to get books and a great way to support your library system at the same time. Also, like always, I want to encourage you to check out the Collab channels I'm a part of. Project Nerdy, which is a Collab channel where we talk about all sorts of nerdy stuff, and reread books. A Collab channel where I do book reviews with other people. The links to both those channels are in the description box below. Please check those channels out and subscribe. If you enjoy this channel, you'll love Project Nerdy and reread books. And remember, on this video, comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you've read any of these books, let me know. If you picked up any good books lately, let me know in the comment section below. Hope you enjoy this book haul, and I'll see you the next time.